Hi, welcome to lesson 2. We're going to get right into the notes on the 4th string, the D string. So if you play the 4th string open, it's D. It's the note right below the staff, first note below the staff. There's 2 other notes on the D string I want you to know, so we'll take a look at where they are now. After D comes E in the alphabet. That's 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 4th string. It's your first line of the staff, the low E. After E comes F, 3rd finger, 3rd fret. That's your first space on the staff. You got 3 notes there on the D string. Open D, 2nd fret E, 3rd fret F. So I'll play the D string exercise for you now. Okay, this is the notes on the 5th string. It's the A string. If you play the 5th string open, it's the A note. And that note is 2 lines below the staff. We're getting down in the ledger lines below the staff now. So there's 2 other notes on the A string I want you to know, so we'll take a look at where they are now. After A comes the B. That's 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 5th string. After B comes a C. That's your first line below the staff. So you got 3 notes on the A string. Open A, 2nd finger, B, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, C. So I'll play the A string exercise for you now. Okay, the notes on the 6th string. This is our last string. If you play the 6th string open, it's an E. It's the lowest note on the guitar. It's 3 lines and 1 space below the staff. It's the E. 2 other notes I want you to know on the E string. After E comes F. That's the 1st finger, 1st fret, 6th string. It's F. That's exactly 3 lines below the staff. Next after F is G, 3rd finger, 3rd fret. It's 2 lines and 1 space below the staff. So you got 3 notes on the E string. Open E, 1st fret F, 3rd fret G. So let me play the E string exercise now. Okay, here's the exercises on the bottom 3 strings. We're going to mix the notes up, and I've given you 3 exercises on your handout, so I'll play each one so you know what it should sound like. Okay, here's this week's stretch exercise. It's going to be the same one we did in lesson 1. I'm just going to review it with you. Typically these stretches take 2 to 3 weeks for you to get used to doing them, so I'll show you what you should start sounding like. Again, up here it's the 1st finger on the 1st fret. Hold it for 4 beats. 3rd third finger, third fret, while keeping your first finger there for 4 beats. And the fourth finger, if you can get it up to that 5th fret, holding your other 2 fingers in for 4 beats. Then you walk your way all the way down each string doing that. That's what you should start trying to strive to get that 5th fret. So just keep working on it. Okay, here's this week's tremolo exercise. Again, I'm going to keep you on the same tremolo that we did in the first week. I just want you to try and pick up a little speed as long as you've gathered some pick control with your right hand. So just to review what the left hand is doing on that tremolo, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 frets while doing a down-up picking motion on each note four times. Now, I'm sure you guys have been picking with just your fingers up to now, just to get the control, which is fine. If you want to pick up some speed, it's more of a wrist action. It's not in the fingers, it's combinations, but it's more wrist. So what I'd like you to do is kind of hold your wrist against the guitar a little stronger, and just move your wrist. Don't move your 2 fingers. Just try and get your wrist loose and just pivot it. It's like a hinge. That's the kind of action I want to hear. Again, start slow if you're just using your wrist. Just down, up, and go like that. And just work your way all the way down the strings. Okay, here's this week's gymnastic exercise. This week we're going to work on the 2nd and the 4th finger on the left hand, keeping the right side going with a down-up picking motion still. So the first week we went over the 1st and 3rd finger, and now we'll move on to the 2nd and 4th finger. So if you look at your handouts, I've given you the staff and the notes on where they start. So the first note of this week's gymnastic is an open B string, 2nd string. Next note is the C sharp, 2nd finger, 2nd fret. Next note's the D sharp, 4th finger, 4th fret. Next note's the open E string, 1st string. Next note's the G sharp, 2nd finger, 2nd fret. And you work your way back down now. E, D sharp, C sharp, B. So let me play that for you a little bit faster so you know what you should sound like. And again, I want you to go all the way down all the strings. Just do the same pattern. You know, just drop a string. So that's your gymnastic for this week. Okay, let's get into this week's chords for the week. There's going to be 3 new chords I'm going to teach you, and I've drawn them up on the board, so let's take a look at the diagrams first. Okay, here's the 4 chords we're going to learn this week. We're going to learn, first new chord will be the G chord, very popular chord. It's a 3-fingered chord, where your 1st finger, 2nd finger, and 3rd finger are used, and the 3 inside strings are played in an open fashion. So you play all 6 strings on this chord. The next chord we're going to learn is the E minor chord. It's a 2-fingered chord, where we use our 2nd and 3rd fingers on the 2nd fret of the 5th and 4th strings, and the rest of the strings are played open. It's a nice sounding chord. This is going to be a little review of the C chord is in this pattern this week. It's what we learned already, but it's that 3-fingered C chord, 5-string chord. And the next new chord for this week will be the D7th chord, not to be confused with the D chord. This is like an upside down triangle, and we use our first 3 fingers, and it's a 4-string chord. You play the top 4 strings for the D7th. And here's your chord pattern I want you to play: the G into the E minor, into a C, into a D7th. and go back to the G and just keep repeating this pattern until you get smooth transitions between these chords. Okay, the G chord. You want to start with your second finger and get it over on your 6th string, 3rd fret. Next move you want to make is put your first finger, 2nd fret, 5th string, right behind it. Now the next 3 strings are open, so you don't put any fingers down. So you got. And the last move you want to make, you're going to drop that 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string. You play all 6 strings. So that's your G chord. The next chord is an E minor chord. It's a pretty easy one. We're going to start with the open E string, low E. You're going to take your second finger again, and I want you to put that on the 2nd fret, 5th string. And I want you to tuck your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, right behind it. And the rest of the strings are open. This is a 6-string chord, so you just play all 6 strings. So that's the E minor. And the C, we learned that in lesson 1, but I'll review it for you. First finger, 1st fret, 2nd string. 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 4th string. 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 5th string. And you play the top 5 strings. That's your C. Again, you want to concentrate on that arch, on that knuckle. That last knuckle is very important when playing chords. So they get that arched out there. The new chord, last new chord this week is the D7th. That's a little triangle up in the top here. I'll show you how to build that. First, start off with your 1st finger, put it on the 1st fret, 2nd string. And when you drop your 3rd finger, 2nd fret, 1st string. And then you just take your 2nd finger and drop it on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. I want you to play all the top 4 strings on this chord. So that's your D7th chord. Again, look at that arch in the knuckles, so you aren't touching any other strings. Okay, so I'll play your chord exercise for you, and this is going to. Just want you to get used to smoothly transitioning from chord to chord. And here's what it should sound like. Keep playing this over and over. Until you get used to the chords and moving from one to another smoothly. Okay, let's get into our song for this week. It's When the Saints Go Marching In. We're going to take the 3 chords we learned and use them in this song. Before we get into that, though, I want to show you a little something on the right hand. Up till now, I've been having you guys just strum downstrokes on your chords. And that's okay for learning your chords, but it sounds pretty boring when you're playing the song. So what I want you to do, your first pattern on the right hand is going to be a down, down, up kind of a strum. And it'll fit this song pretty well. So if you get a shot of this, it's. So it adds a little bit of rhythm to the song. Also, when you're coming on the upstroke, you can kind of release the pressure on your left hand. Keep your fingers where they are, but release the pressure so you get like a click. And it sounds pretty good on the guitar when you're. Gives a little percussive sound, like a rhythmic sound to the guitar. So let's try those 2 things on this song and try and work with a smooth transition on your left hand, making your chord changes. What I've done, I've recorded the melody to this song. I'll play it for you, and then I'll play it for you clean so you have a melody to play against and practice with. So let's listen to it. play it for you, the melody clean for you, so you have something to practice with now.